Mm. Anyway, so it's about 12 o'clock, almost 12 on Monday. And it's been kind of like a weird weekend. Saturday, I just was not feeling like at my best. I think in my last video, I talked about having a new doctor and her changing my medication, and it's really stressful. It's borderline sad that it's like 15 years later and I can still be put back in the position to where I can't walk. And that is really scary to me because I'm so independent now that if I was to go backwards or had to use the wheelchair, my fear is that would be dependent like on my mom. My sister has a family. It's just not even really an option that, I would be able to live with her, or that she would, be in a position to take on another responsibility with my nieces and having a new baby and married is just not really an option. And then I guess I get even more worried when I think that it would be on my mom, knowing that, she struggles with her lupus and RA. Like, when we are together and we are both like, you know, doing stuff like yesterday after church, I went over there and we get stuff done. We work together really well, or we are learning to work together really well. We know how to get stuff done in different ways. And together, it does seem like it's less. Like, it's not really less. We both hurt. I'm sure she's probably hurting just as bad as I am today. But it's a part in our mind that is relaxed, like organizing something or getting something done. Like, I think it was the closet that she wanted to get done, but by the time I got there, she had already pretty much did it. And that makes me like, I want to be the one to help her. I don't It's hard for me to think about her like doing that stuff by herself, but it has to be done. And I'm almost positive that she probably has the same concerns about me, because I will move my furniture around, I will organize something, and especially since I'm in like a small place, each one of my crafts, I have to put away the supplies every time and get them out to go on to a new project. And so there are times when at the end of the day, if I've been making jewelry all day, by the end of that day, I'm just in so much pain that I want to just leave everything there, like out wherever I was working, on the floor, on my bed. And then when I wake up in the morning and I'm trying to get to the bathroom or trying to get something to eat, to, maybe stumble over stuff that's in the way, or to see stuff just like all over the place and I'm hurting so bad, it could be a breakdown for me. And I kind of think my mom is the same way, to just see stuff like out of order and you are in so much pain, knowing that it's just not an option for you to clean up. It it's a lot. It it just adds to what we are already dealing with. So, like I said, I get really um, nervous and anxious when I think about um, that this illness can bring me back to where I was at the beginning, where I had no type of management of the pain. My nervous system was completely out of whack to where it would just shut off. And I feel like I cannot be there again, but you know how, I guess, like God situations go. the one thing that you don't want to have to deal with somehow is always the thing you have to deal with. So I'm just constantly like, please don't let that be where I end up. If I have a day or two where I'm kind of like bed, I'm stuck in the bed, I'll still like try to crochet laying down. I think I've kind of mastered the skill of crocheting while laying in different positions. But it's not the way I want to do it, but to just be in the bed like 18 to 24 hours, it can be really depressing when it starts to be a week, 2 weeks. And so I've been struggling with my pain level being extremely high for like the last 2 weeks ever since we changed my medication. On top of that, with my hand being broken, even though the bone has healed, I still have a lot of nerve. Like the middle finger is still completely numb. And like throughout the night, I feel like the whole hand go numb. And it's challenging when I think about not being able to use my hands to make stuff. Yeah, that part is hard. I don't want to go backwards, but I do have to be realistic with myself. There is no cure for fibromyalgia. And when I'm dealing with doctors, like, I don't know why doctors will put on like their website or, descriptively they'll say they are chronic pain specialist or they treat fibromyalgia. And then you'll have a doctor come in like this doctor did, and her first suggestion was to change my medication regimen rather than investigate or research how I came to this point where I told her it was being managed. I still have flare-ups, but that's to be expected, but I'm not down for months at a time like before. And then for her to still feel like she needed to change those medications, I was prepared. Every time I see a new doctor, the possibility is that they gonna change what's already been done, and I'm gonna be the one that suffer, not them. She hadn't even returned my call the one day. She didn't return till the next day. And trying to get an appointment with her today was a no-go. They said there's no room. And I said, well, can she call me at some point? The possibility of her calling me before Wednesday was very slim. So I'm like, I'm hurting. It hurts to walk and get around. But what I'm going to do? I'd still have to go on. I got so many things that I need to do, a couple pieces I need to make. I was crocheting some things as gifts, and I'm not going to let this stop me from, doing my gift. God gave me this. I didn't know how to make jewelry or crochet 3-4 years ago, and it was a blessing to discover I had some type of creativity within myself, and I am not going to let probably be like this and still want to do what I do. So I don't know. I guess my point of today, I really just wanted to touch bases because I did not vlog at all yesterday. Because when I got home from my mom's house, I just wanted to kind of check out and just lay in my bed, and that's what I did. So today the goal is to work, even though I'm hurting. I'm going to make something. Even though I just make one thing, I want to make something for my cousin. I don't know if I told you guys about she's my nanny, but not nanny like nanny take care of you. Nanny. She's my mom's sister, and like down south, when you are born, you are gifted godparents. So a lot of times it's an aunt and an uncle, or like really good friends of your parents. And they pretty much take on the responsibility if something was to ever happen to your parents. They would be like your second parents. And my nanny is one of my mom's older sisters. I think Nanny is probably in her early 70s now. Um, we all had been separated for several years. I, I will probably talk about that at some point when I feel like my mom is okay with us talking about that. Maybe my sister and my mom and I could do a video together about the time that we were away from each other for a really long time. But my aunt, she had just came back to us like 2 Christmas ago and united with her daughters. And she came to visit me in San Diego. I posted pictures on my Facebook page, but she's so beautiful. She has pretty white gray hair, and in her 70s, to not look like she was 70. And one of the things she kept saying was that she felt so good and that she was so grateful that God had given her all these years. And she said she felt so good. She came to church with me and rededicated her life to Christ. She had been following him for years. She was a nun early on in her years, and in the last few, in the years up to it, she had a relationship with God, but she was in a new place and wanted to recommit her walk. And you can imagine seeing her like that was just life and love. We had such a great time. And she went back to where she was staying with her daughters. And then just like in a matter of months, she got sick. She fell a few times. I think they said she had a stroke. And then the medical care that she needed required her to be in a facility. And it just seemed like she kind of went out from there. They said she wasn't talking much. She wasn't really feeling happy. A lot of emotional stuff going on for her to just life to be so changed drastically so quickly. And so the last year has been really tough for her and my cousin, who has been by her mother's side for, it's really hard for her, but she's always kind of been like that with her mom, the one that takes care of everything. She's really close to my mom, so they talk a lot. And so it had been a lot the last few weeks. They found out, or they thought that Nanny had pneumonia, and unfortunately found out that she had ovarian cancer, which is something that runs in our family heavily. My mom and a couple of her sisters all have different levels of it. One of my aunts actually died from it. But they found out maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe not even that long, that she was stage 3 ovarian cancer. And she was so weak that they could not do surgery or physical therapy on her. And so yesterday, we found out that she passed. I got the message last night. But the weird part about it was that while me and Mom was at church on yesterday morning, they sang the song. I think it's Amazing God is the name of the song. That weekend that Nanny was with me, that she went to the church with me, they sang the song. Yes, they sang it. They sang the song, and my mom makes like these off the chain, like I should be calling her DJ Mama. She makes these CDs like every few months of like the top hit Christian songs or gospel songs. And on this one CD, my mom had that song on there. And Nanny just wanted to play the song over and over again. And the song is crunk. And then she asked me to send it to her, and I sent it to her. And she just told me, like, she would text me every few days and just say that how the song was blessing her, how she listened to it on her way to work. And yes, 70 years old, she was still working and taking care of other people, taking the bus, walking out in LA or like the Long Beach area. I mean, like on her grind. That's always been her, taking care, working. And she just kept texting me about how that song was just blessing her so much. So to hear that song yesterday, when they were singing the song, I leaned over to Mom and I said, "That's Nanny's song," you know. So to kind of think that that was probably around almost 10 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock that we were there. I said to Mom, "You should play this for Nanny." I just am right there as we were worshiping in church. I kind of just envisioned her not really moving or responding, but what I really saw was a tear, and as the song was being played, like right in that moment. So to kind of think that maybe in that time that was what was happening. I hope even if the song wasn't playing for her, I believe so much that that song was in her heart, no matter if she can talk back or not, you know, talk to us or not. I believe that song was in her heart, and I don't know the details of how the last few minutes came. I just have not been able to speak to my cousin, and I can understand she's probably taking care of everything in relation to Nanny's going away service. My mom and uncle and aunt will be there this weekend. They are traveling there. They had it already planned to go, and my mom kept saying like they didn't say she had so long to live or whatever, but you know, they sent her to hospice. And they had already made the trip to go visit. The plan was to go visit her in January, but after prayer, my mom and my uncle, you know, they felt that God was telling them to go earlier. They made the reservations and everything, I think, before they found out that Nanny had the cancer. So it's just kind of amazing to see how God works things out, like way before you even know like what's about to happen. It is going to be a major blessing to my cousin, who is going to have to be responsible for everything, to have my mom, my aunt, and my uncle there with her. Like, I just can't even imagine her having to do it by herself. So to have my mom and them there, like, I'm not going to be able to be there, but I can trust with my heart that they are going to help her. They're going to take care of her and help her get all of those things that need to be done. So I was really saddened by it, but I'm so grateful that the joy that I remember seeing Nanny as, and just that vision I had in church yesterday, that I'm so grateful that I know that she is in heaven. She regave her life to God, and she lived that out. She loved really hard, and it's just so awesome to know that, I mean, she's in heaven now. I'm like, say hi to Daddy, you know, that she'll be in continuous worship and no more pain, no more heartache, you know. So yeah. So you guys keep my cousin in prayer, that her and her sisters are able to come together for this, and that she feels some sense of peace with where it is, that she did really all that she could, you know, and just keep my mom and my aunt and uncle in prayer that they have a really safe flight. And it already is proven that, you know, God has already worked everything out. This was all prearranged before Nanny passed, so God clearly has a plan. I mean, you know, of course he has a plan, but it's just us accepting that it was already set up before, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off this. I was gonna say the phone, because I am using my phone right now, and try to make something for my cousin. I don't know. I'm kind of imagining some type of choker. She is not like really like a blinged out type person, so something simple, but another piece to add to the love collection. Um, so I'm about to do that, and hopefully I am not too wiped out to touch back bases with you guys today. But if not, you know I'll be back. I'm always back. All right, guys. Thank you for your prayers and your support. And I'll see you guys later.